There are times when the answer is not to be stronger. There are times when what you actually need, what your whole nervous system is quietly asking for, is simply to feel safe, to feel held, to be in a space where nothing is required of you, where nothing is trying to get in, where the only thing happening is you, breathing, returning to yourself. If you have been more tired than usual lately, if you have been quicker to feel overwhelmed, quicker to feel irritated, quicker to reach the end of what you can hold, if you have had that feeling, the one that is hard to name, of being full, but not in a good way, full of other people's moods, other people's needs, other people's unspoken tensions that somehow made their way into your body without you ever choosing to receive them. If any of that is true for you right now, I want you to hear this before we go anywhere else. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not weak. You have not become less than you were. What has happened is something simpler and more common than most people ever talk about. Too much has been coming in, and not enough has been going back out. Too many doors have been open at once. Too many things have been allowed to pass through without your conscious permission. That is not a character flaw. That is what happens to people who feel deeply, to people who care genuinely, to people who are present with others in a way that most of the world has forgotten how to be. The capacity you have to feel, to absorb, to attune to the people and environments around you, that is not a weakness. That is a rare and extraordinary quality. But like any capacity, it needs a container. It needs edges. It needs the thing we are here to practice tonight. A boundary is not a wall. It is not coldness. It is not the decision to stop caring or stop loving or stop being present. A boundary is simply the knowledge of where you end and where something else begins. And when that knowledge is missing, when the edges between your energy and everyone else's energy have become blurred, you begin to carry things that were never yours to carry. And carrying things that were never yours to carry is exhausting in a way that sleep alone cannot fix. So tonight, we are not here to make you stronger. We are here to make you safer. In your own body, in your own space, in the quiet room of your own inner life, where you are the one who decides what enters and what does not. Let's begin there, with your body. Feel wherever you are sitting or lying right now. Let the surface beneath you take your weight, all of it. You have been holding yourself up all day. You can release that now. Let your shoulders fall, not by forcing them, just by noticing that you were holding them and offering them permission to drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the muscles around your forehead soften. Let your hands open. Take one breath that is genuinely slow, not a performed breath, just the next natural breath taken with a little more intention. In through the nose, feeling your chest or your belly rise, and out through the mouth, letting everything that came in with it release. Notice right now if there is a tension somewhere in your body that belongs to someone else. A conversation you absorbed earlier today. A mood you walked into a room and picked up without meaning to. A feeling that arrived and never quite left, even though the situation that created it is long over. You don't need to name it. You don't need to analyze where it came from. Just notice it is there, and know that it does not have to stay. Energy is the simplest thing in the world, and also the most misunderstood. People speak about it as though it is mystical, as though only certain people with special training can understand it. But energy, in its most basic form, is just this: attention and boundary. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. And where there is no boundary, that energy flows out without stopping. Think about a day when you were fully present for someone who was struggling. You listened, you gave, you held space. And afterward you felt, not just tired, but somehow emptied, like something essential had left you that hadn't yet been replaced. That is not a spiritual concept. That is a physiological reality. The nervous system does not distinguish between its own emotional experience and an emotional experience it is absorbing from someone else. If you are deeply attuned, deeply empathic, deeply present, your body processes other people's pain almost as if it were your own, which means it costs you almost as much. This is not something to fix. It is something to understand and to protect. The first thing I want to offer you tonight is permission. Permission to not take everything in. Permission to feel what is yours and let the rest remain outside. Permission to be present with people you love without disappearing into them. Permission to care without consuming yourself in the process. Let this arrive in your body, not just your mind. I do not have to receive everything that comes toward me. I am allowed to feel what is mine and release what is not. My care for others does not require me to carry what belongs to them. I choose, consciously and gently, what I allow into my space. Feel what those words do in your body. Is there a softening somewhere? A small easing in the chest? A breath that goes just slightly deeper than the last? That is your system recognizing truth. Your body already knows this. The mind is simply catching up. Now I want to speak about something that many deeply feeling people experience, but rarely give a name to: the accumulation. It happens slowly, over days, over weeks, over years of being the person who absorbs, the person others come to, the person who feels things fully and rarely has a space where someone else is holding the space for them. Imagine your inner life as a house, not a grand or complicated house, just a quiet personal space that belongs entirely to you. It has rooms, windows, doors. It is not sealed off from the world. It connects, it opens, it welcomes. That is its nature. When you are young, or when you are in a season of particularly open-heartedness, you leave the doors wide, and things come in. People come in. Their stories, their moods, their unspoken tensions, their needs, their griefs. And for a while, this feels like richness. This feels like connection. The house is full of life. But over time, without you noticing, something shifts. The guests leave, but not everything they brought leaves with them. There are things left in the corners, not maliciously, not intentionally, but there. Old conversations whose echoes still move through the rooms. Feelings that were never yours, but that settled into the furniture. Worries you picked up from someone else and carried home without realizing they weren't in your bag to begin with. And gradually, the house becomes crowded. Not with people, with residue. You come home to yourself and there is no room to breathe. You look for your own quiet and cannot find it under everything that has accumulated. You feel tired in a space that was supposed to be restorative. And you cannot figure out why, because from the outside, nothing looks wrong. This is the accumulation, and it is one of the most common and least spoken about sources of exhaustion for people who feel deeply. The work tonight is not dramatic. It does not require you to push anything out forcefully, or to harden yourself against the world, or to become someone who feels less. The work is gentler than that. It is simply learning to close the doors, gently, with intention. Not permanently, not out of fear, but consciously, knowing that the door works, that you are the one who operates it, that it can open when you choose and close when you need it to. And right now, in this moment, you are choosing to close it. Take a breath, and as you exhale, imagine that a door in your inner space is gently, quietly closing. Not slamming, not locking, just coming to rest in the closed position. The space on the other side of it is still there. You have not cut anything off. You have simply established where here ends and out there begins. Feel that, even a little, even as a concept, before it becomes a full sensation. Your space, your house, your door. Now let's move into the practice itself. What I am going to offer you is a series of statements, not affirmations in the performance sense, not words you say to convince yourself of something you don't believe. These are permissions, redirections, small internal movements that close what has been open, return what has been borrowed, and gently call your energy back to where it belongs. You don't need to believe them completely. You don't need to feel them immediately. Just let them arrive. Let them settle where they need to settle. The body will know what to do with them, even before the mind has finished processing. Breathe in slowly, and on the exhale, let the first one land. I do not have to absorb everything that comes my way. Say it again inside yourself, slowly, not as a declaration, but as a settling. I do not have to absorb everything that comes my way. Feel where that statement lives in your body. For some people, it arrives in the chest, a slight opening, a small release of something held. For others, it arrives in the shoulders. For others, it is more subtle, just a quality of breath that shifts slightly towards something easier. Whatever you feel, it is right. There is no wrong response here. Now the next one. What is not mine, I am gently returning now. This is not an act of rejection. It is not anger. It is not taking anything away from anyone. It is simply the recognition that you have been carrying things that do not belong to you. Feelings, worries, moods, tensions, and that those things are allowed to go back to wherever they came from. You don't need to know exactly what they are. The intention is enough. What is not mine, I am gently returning now. Breathe. Feel whatever shifts. Now this one and this one is important. It speaks to the part of us that believes we have to understand something completely before we can release it. I do not need to understand it fully to let it go. So many of us hold on to things, painful experiences, difficult relationships, old versions of events, because we have not yet found the right explanation. We believe that letting go requires a complete accounting, a reason, a verdict. But the body and the spirit often know when something is ready to leave before the mind has finished its analysis. This statement gives permission for that earlier release, for the kind of letting go that happens not in the thinking mind, but somewhere quieter and deeper. I do not need to understand it fully to let it go. Stay with that. Let it move through the places in you that have been gripping something without fully knowing why. Now we go a little deeper. My boundaries come from love, not from fear. This is perhaps the most important reframe of everything we are practicing tonight. Because for so many people, especially people who feel deeply, people who care about others, there is an old story running underneath the surface. A story that says a boundary is an act of withdrawal, that protecting your energy means caring less, that saying no to what drains you is a form of selfishness. That story is not true. A boundary that comes from love says, I want to be genuinely present with you. I want to be here in a way that is real and whole and sustainable. And to do that, I need to know where I end and where you begin. I need to have enough of myself left to actually give from, rather than pouring from a vessel that is already empty. That is not withdrawal. That is wisdom. That is the foundation of every relationship that actually lasts. My boundaries come from love, not from fear. Say it inside yourself one more time. And let it begin to replace whatever story was there before. And now the last one, the one that closes the practice. I am safe in my own space. Not safe from the world. The world is still there, and it will still ask things of you, and that is all right. But safe within yourself. safe in the quiet room of your own being, safe to feel what is yours without being overwhelmed by what is not, safe to be present without being consumed. I am safe in my own space. Feel the ground beneath you as you say that. Feel the weight of your body supported. Feel the air around you, the temperature of it, the quality of it. This is your space. This moment belongs to you. You are safe here. You have always been safe here. You had simply forgotten for a while that the door was yours to operate. Stay in this for a little while now. There is no next thing to arrive at. Let the body absorb what has moved through it tonight. Let the nervous system continue the settling that has already begun. If you notice thoughts arriving, things from your day, things you need to do, things you are worried about, you don't have to engage with them. Just notice them, the way you might notice a car passing outside a window. It exists. It passes. You remain. Breathe. The 5 statements we have practiced tonight are not a one-time exercise. They are a practice, something you can return to in the middle of a difficult day, when you feel yourself beginning to absorb what is not yours. Something you can use in the morning before you open the doors of your attention to the world. Something you can carry with you quietly, the way you carry anything that helps you remember who you are. I do not have to absorb everything that comes my way. What is not mine, I am gently returning now. I do not need to understand it fully to let it go. My boundaries come from love, not from fear. I am safe in my own space. Let them settle one more time, slowly, without pressure. Now I want to say something directly to the part of you that finds all of this difficult. The part that worries that protecting your energy means becoming less available to the people you love, less caring, less you. That part is not wrong to be careful. That part has been watching out for you in its own way. But I want to offer it a different picture. A person who knows how to close the door gently, consciously, with love, does not become less present with others. They become more present. Because when you are no longer spending your energy managing what is leaked in from a dozen different directions, you have more of yourself to actually give. When your house is clear, you can welcome people into it without fear of the accumulation. When you know the door works, you can open it more freely. When your space is genuinely yours, you can share it from a place of abundance rather than obligation. The boundary is not the thing that keeps love out. The boundary is what makes real love possible. And you who feel deeply, you who have given so much of yourself to so many people over so long, you deserve to know what it is like to be in your own space and feel at home there. Genuinely, restorably, sustainably at home. That is what tonight has been building toward. Take a final breath now, deep and slow. Let it fill you completely. And as you release it, let it carry with it one last thing. Whatever it is that has been waiting to leave since before you even pressed play tonight. You don't have to name it. You don't have to know what it is. Just release it with the exhale and let what remains be yours. Genuinely, completely, peacefully yours. Now let a gentle stretch begin to move through your body. Let the room come back around you. Let the sounds of your actual surroundings return. Feel the weight of your body, the surface beneath you, the temperature of the air. You are here. You are whole. And you are a little lighter than you were when you arrived. If this practice reached something real in you tonight, if even one of those statements settled somewhere it needed to settle, write in the comments, "I am safe in my own space." Let it be your closing for this evening, your quiet declaration that something shifted. Save this. Return to it. Not because something is wrong with you, but because you deserve to be reminded of what has always been true. You are allowed to protect your energy. You are allowed to choose what enters your space. You are allowed to be the one who operates the door. Good night. Rest well. You have done something important tonight.